Hello everybody, today I'm going to present to you the lab exercise part 2, group 9 from me and Haikal. So I'll do number 1, 2 and 3 and Haikal will do the rest. So in the first one, it says we need to complete the truth table, truth table 1 for digital fault diagnosed circuit. Use variable A, B, C and D for inputs. For input E1, E2, E3 and E4. So as you can see, we just put our input on the diagram or the circuit. If we put our A 0, C 0, D 0, all of the output will be E1 is 0, E2 is 1, E3 is 0, E4 is 0. So the next one, all 0 except for D. So if we turn on D, as we can see, the circuit change from E1 is 1, E2 is 0, E3 is 0, E4 is 0, and so on from as the truth table shows here. And here we can see the using K-map get minimize SOP Boolean expressions for the outputs. For as you can see here, E1, E2, E3 and E4. And the last one, number 3, we can use the Boolean expressions in step 2, this one, to draw your final circuits. So the final should be like this, or as I just show you this one. This is the final circuit. So thank you.
Hi, continuing from question 3, we are continuing to the next circuit, which is the circuit that you need to convert from the previous circuit to the AND only gates circuit. Okay, as you can see, this is the overall circuit. Okay, and that the from the at the right side is the full truth table and the time diagram of this circuit. Okay, for the first output, which is D is 1, A, C and D is 0, it will produce E2 1, as you can see from the right side, 0, A, C 0, D 0, E2 is 1. So continuing to the next input, which is A is 0, C is 0 and D is 1, you produce 0 output, which is E1 to E4, we have 0 in output. Okay, the next input, which is C is 1, D is 0 and A is 0, we produce E2 again. From the 0 0 0 we produce E2 0. This is because we need A and D to be 0 so that you can output E2, because A complement D times D complement. So A complement 0 is 1, D complement 0 is 1, so 1 times 1 is 0. Okay, for the next input, which is D1 C1, which is E1. Okay, this one you can see on the right side is E1. This is because both C and D need to be 1 so that E1 can output 1. Okay, next input, which is A1 C0 D0, we can produce E4. Okay, as you can see, E1 to E2 0, C E3 0, E4 is 1. So next is A1 D1 C0, produce E1 high input and E3 is high input. Okay, we can see from the right side, A1 and A1 and ED1. We can see E1 is 1, E3 is 1. So next input is D0 and C is 1. So we produce E4 1 and E1 to E3 is 0. No input. Okay. Next input, which is the last input, which is A1, C1 and D is 1. We produce the same input as A1, C0, A1, which is E1 is 1, E3 is 1. Okay. So you can conclude that to produce E3, you need to have A1, A to be 1, D and to be 1. So that is the full output. So that is the full input of the circuit 2.